If you're interested to see how this Hyundai rear roller lawnmower works, then today I'm going to be putting it to the test. Well, here we have it then, the Hyundai 48cm cut rear roller lawnmower. Now, I've been looking forward to trying this one out. We've done a sort of renovation on this lawn, as you can see behind me. My goodness, there's a lot of growth on there. We did cut it a couple of times, roughly with a rotary, when it was just sort of seeded and come through. But unfortunately, we sort of got the timing a little bit off, and it was so dry, nothing really germinated for a long time. And now we've had a lot of wet weather, we couldn't really get on it, and my goodness me, it has grown. So we're going to put this through its paces today. But before we put through its paces, I'd like to just have a quick look at the mower. If you bought one of these already and you're interested in how it gets together and to look like this, then look down in the description below and you'll see the link to the video. You can click on there and find out all about it. If you've already got to that stage and you just want a quick overview of what happens, or you haven't bought one yet and you're interested in how they actually work, well then we'll have a look at exactly what it does. Now, first of all, engine on top, 139cc overhead valve engine, right? Lawnmower engine on there, air filter over on this side, oil filler on this side. Pretty standard, great, sits on the top, spins a blade underneath, that's what we like. We've got the oil fill over here. Now, all these machines come without any oil in, or, well, there is a little bit in there. They fill it up, test it, empty it out again, and then send it to you. There's a 600 mil capacity on these, but I suggest putting about 350 to 400 mil in when you start to fill it up, and it should come up to about here on the dipstick. If you're just below the high mark on the dipstick, you're sort of in the right area, so that's great. So it's easy to fill that up. We've got a warning label on there saying it ships without oil and fuel, just in case you're confused and started it up. So that's the first warning label. The second one is on here, and it shows you how to connect all the cables up. I've taken that off because they're on and secure, and I've fired the mower up and tested it so we know everything's working well. Now, back to the mower itself. We've got a single lever height adjuster here. Now, the single lever height adjuster, oh my goodness, it's spring loaded, it goes down quick. We can just do that, pull it across, and then it lifts back up. So there you go, and we've got cutting heights from 30mm up to 80mm. We'll probably be working towards the top of that range on this grass today, at least for the first pass anyway. So that's easy. Works all four wheels, 2 front wheels and 1 rear roller. That's what we've got the machine for, isn't it? A nice heavy duty rear roller on the back, and that's to give us the nice stripes. Fingers crossed it works. So that's all great. Moving the machine around, we've got a handle on the front here. We can pick this up, load it into a truck, onto a trailer, whatever you need to do. Even carry it up and down steps if that's what you need to get to where you've got to cut the grass. So that's basically the front end of the mower. Let's have a look at the controls now. Wow, simplicity is the word really. We've got max speed, slow speed over on this side. The cables run down and adjust the throttle down there, that's no bother at all. And then over this side we've got start, which is your choke on, and then we've got run up at the top, which is your choke off. I'm not 100% sure what the bits in between will do, but we'll probably find that out when we do it. Forward onto choke, that'll allow a lot of fuel through, and that'll fire it up straight away. Once it's fired, I presume we start to pull it back and we take it steady until we're into the run position, and then it should be running. Now, be warned, when you start this up, you pull the handle towards you, okay? So this handle pulls towards you, and without that being pulled towards you, nothing will work, all right? You can pull this as long as you like, all day long, nothing will happen. You need to have this handle up. This is called the dead man's handle. You hold that up, and when you hold it up, there's a little click, and that just says it's engaged. So if you're mowing, walking up and down, all of a sudden you need to stop, let go, and the engine will cut out and the blade will stop moving. Okay, so it's as simple as that. But this is the one that you need to be operating all the time. Now, there is some adjustment sometimes on these cables, and I'll tell you what, The instruction booklet I got with this is so comprehensive, it's unbelievable. There's a lot of manufacturers could learn a lot from the booklets that these people send out. There is everything in there, from adjusting the cables to lawn mowing tips, all sorts of things. It's a fascinating read, it really is. If you're into the machinery and you like to look at these things, it's a fascinating read. It's a great little instruction manual. But anyway, carry on. Right, this is your dead man's handle, so that's got to be working. Now, you've got the mower up and running, the blade's spinning and away you want to go, and it's a bit heavy to push, but don't worry, you've bought yourself a self-propelled model, and you pull this handle up at the back. Now, you pull this handle up and that engages the drive. I'm sure that with this drive engaged, we can go slowly up to fast. I'm not 100% sure, it might be engine speed. I'm hoping that it's roller speed and drive speed, but you never know. So we'll have a play around with that and we'll see how it works. But you need to make sure this one's up, blade's spinning, and this one needs to be held tight, and you pull this one up to make it go. If you let go of that one and you still hold the drive, it will still cut out, okay? And then last but not least, we've got a drinks holder. Had these on sit down mowers for years and years, but they're quite new to pedestrian mowers, and that does fit a can. Again, if you haven't seen the video of me putting this together, have a look at that and we can get a couple of cans in there, no bother. I don't know how they'd work going over lumpy and bumpy ground. Hopefully your lawn's a bit flatter than this one behind me, and you could put something in and you wouldn't spill it everywhere. But that's it for now. Let's turn this round and see if we can get it fired up. Okay then, I've put in about half a tank's worth of fuel. It does hold a litre in there, but I've put in half a litre and just see how we get on. And I think that's about it. I've set it up to the highest setting on there, 80 mil. I think this grass is a little bit long for it, but you know, I need to test these machines, don't I? It's no good walking over a bowling green with them, is it? You want to see it in real life and see it cutting some grass and sort of pushing it to its limit or thereabouts. So it's all set for that. I'm just going to pull the handle now. I'm going to put this on to start. Now, this may take a couple of goes because I did fire it up when we were in the workshop just to make sure that it worked, but I'm not sure if the fuel's still gone through there. It was a few days ago because we've had nothing but rain. So I'll try and give it a go. I just turn it over a couple of times gently, and then that's that. And away you go, right? And it's into run now, so that's it. And then this, that's the engine speed then. So that's engine speed up to max. And we can lower that down to almost an idle, okay? Up to max, then just let it run for a few moments. Now there might be a bit of a smoke and smell when you first start it up, because these machines, they've been oiled all over, so when they come out of the factory, you need to run them first just to clear it through. Just give it a couple of seconds. There you go, let go of the handle and it stopped straight away. Well, that was sweet as a nut, wasn't it? It sounded great, really. And there wasn't much smoke. Usually when you start these up, there's quite a bit of like residue on there and things, and it sort of creates a bit of smoke, but no, that was fine. Right, let's cut some grass then now. I'm going to attempt to do this a little bit here. I'll work out a square meterage when I've cut it and I'll let you know, but for now, let's fire it up and see what we can do. Well then, look at that. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4 stripes, and I've about 3/4 filled the grass box. Could probably have done about 5, but I don't really want to push it and drop some grass clippings on there and spoil it. There is actually a little indicator on the back here as well. So when you're mowing, I can't even lift it up, look. That's how well balanced it is. When you're mowing, it lifts up and away you go. I think that's how it works. It lifts up and away you go, and when it's full it drops down because there's no airflow, and you need to check your grass box. However, once you've done your own lawn a few times, you know when you need to stop and when you don't. But look at the clippings that have come off there. The length of those clippings is phenomenal, really, considering we're cutting at 80 mil and it's not designed for really much more than that, and we're cutting some of that, well, at least double that height. So, and the stripes look great. and the more we do this and the more we mow the grass in these directions, the better the nap of the grass becomes, and the better obviously the stripes will be. Now I'm going to empty this into my compost bin and then I'll carry on. Well, how about that then? My goodness me. 300 metres squared of grass that is that we've cut there. So 300 metres square, half a tank of fuel. I think there's still plenty left in there as well. Yeah, there is. It'll do twice that much on half a tank, so there's no bother at all. Grass clippings. My goodness, we've got a lot in here. Look at all of this, and look how long they are as well. We haven't just clipped the grass, we've cut the grass really. We've cut it shorter than we should have. It was about 20 centimetres and more in some places. So it was really long, and we've cut it down to 80 mil. So we've cut it down, you know, 120 mil off there, 12 centimetres. That's quite a fair chunk of grass to take off. This mower, brand new to me. Has it exceeded my expectations? I think it has, really. I was a bit dubious about coming here to cut this grass. I knew I've got to do it. It was the first time I used the machine. I wasn't really sure of its capabilities, and it has exceeded the expectations, really. I thought 10 centimetres, maybe a little bit longer, and it will cut through, but no, 20 centimetres and more with ease. Collected every little bit as well. Really well. There's a few long stragglers that are dotted around, which you can't really do much about. When you're going through the thicker stuff, it's just going to go, isn't it? You can't really push it beyond its limits. I'm sure when they do the second cut in a few days' time, we'll just knock it down 10 mil, cut it the other way, and it'll look fantastic. You know, it looks, well, compared to what it looked like when we turned up, it looks pretty good now. I'm chuffed with it. And then we're going to do a little weed and feed on here. We got rid of all the moss, or 90% of the moss out of it. It was really covered in moss. We didn't do too well with the weeds. I think it was just the weather conditions. So there's a lot of weed in here still, but we'll clear the weeds out and then we'll have a beautiful lawn. But back to the machine. Yeah, it did well, didn't it? Everything worked great. The grass box didn't really falter. The blade kept turning. The only fault I'd say, if any, is it wants to go. And when you get into the longer grass, I'm sort of trying to hold it back and sort of feather the control to sort of slow it down a little bit as we're going through. So with it being a new machine to me, there's a little bit of a learning curve for me to get used to it. But yeah, it did well. And I can imagine when this is shorter, my goodness, you'll just zip up and down here. It took about probably about 25-30 minutes to cut this big section, but we were emptying the bag sort of every 4 stripes, and some of that was a little dodgy. I was having to go slow towards the end so it'd pick it all up. But yeah, so you know, it's done well. 25-30 minutes, so I'm quite chuffed with it. Just a tip when you're using these machines, it's new, straight out of the factory, so you've used it once. Put it back in your shed, put it back in your workshop, and just go through everything with a spanner and just make sure everything's tight again. When you pick these up from a shop, then they've put them together and they sort of run them up and down and test them and then re-tighten everything. That's just how it works. So with these, I presume that's done in the factory, but once you've used it out in the real world, just go around everything and make sure it all works as it should. Height adjuster seems great. I didn't really have any need to use it, did I? I just put it to the top setting and away we went. But it seems quite stable. And what I do like is there's a little bit of flex in there when we're going over these lumps and bumps. Now, unless you've got a perfectly flat lawn and you're using a cylinder mower, you know, that's great. But once you start to get a few undulations, he's leaning side to side. And with this, you've got that little bit of play in there, so you weren't sort of scalping because the mower could lean over. So I was quite happy with that. I was a bit dubious at first. I thought, oh, there's a little bit of movement, but no, I understood why after, and I could see, and obviously, like, the results speak for themselves. So there you go. I hope you found this video helpful and informative as well. Click the description down below and there'll be a link in there, and you can see all the latest prices and any items that are on sale as well. Hyundai do a massive range, so you can just go and have a look at that. Also a link to my website, you can click on there, jimmythemower.com. Loads of fun stuff on there, competitions as well usually, so have a look at that as well. And if you've got anything nice to say, you can put that in the comment section too. If you've got any experience with these lawnmowers or any other questions in general, just ask me in there and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. But most of all, thanks for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. I'm Jimmy the Mower. I'll catch you on the next one.